Hello and welcome to my underground lair. Truly, truly underground. Here we are amongst all of my board games. So let's continue. So last time we were talking about the final stages of the Civil War, what really brought down the Confederate States of America and crushed them in almost a literal sense. Because even after Gettysburg and Vicksburg, the Confederacy was still holding on. They still had some fight left because they were hoping that if they could hold out until the next presidential election in 1864, um, somebody would oust Abraham Lincoln. Somebody would beat him in the presidential election, and hopefully that new person would be sympathetic to the Southern cause, would at least sue for peace. The problem with that is it's just so much of a gamble. They couldn't be sure that the new president would be sympathetic to them, but they were just hoping. It was pretty much their last ditch effort. But what gave them this hope is the fact that the war in the North was wildly unpopular. Just tens of thousands of American soldiers were dying, and some people, despite the fact that they were fighting for a rejoined United States, some people didn't care. There's like, if the Southern states want to leave, let them leave. Other people are like, we're fighting for slaves. Why do we need to care about them? So this is all kinds of things that were coming into play. And so Lincoln, in order to secure his presidency and to secure his war effort, he needed a massive victory, as if Gettysburg and Vicksburg went enough, but he needed something else to show the North that, hey, we've got this. We are going to win, and my strategy is working. And that victory came when Ulysses S. Grant and William Tecumseh Sherman, General Sherman, sent the army down into Georgia. So last time we talked about Grant's three-pronged attack. You attack from the Mississippi River into what is left of Louisiana and the state of Mississippi. You attack down through Virginia, right here. You attack down through Virginia, marching towards Richmond, and then you march straight through the middle of what's left of the Confederacy. And it was this middle prong that became wildly successful. So this was just a huge slog and just losing tons and tons of troops. There was one battle where Grant lost so many lives, he wept at the end of it. Now, eventually he was successful over here and he did capture Lee's army. But it was this battle right here. The battle centered around Atlanta, Georgia. So in 1864, September 1864, Atlanta was completely surrounded. And while the Union Army couldn't quite advance in and take it, they did eventually get the city to fall. And once it did, that was the linchpin for securing Abraham Lincoln's presidency. Because as you can see, the fall of Atlanta happened in September 2nd, 1864. Presidential elections are in November. He got his victory. He secured his presidency. And that helped him secure, essentially, as we know it, the future of the United States. Because he was able to win against his own general, George B. McClellan, and then they were able to prosecute the war to its eventual conclusion. No other foreign help was going to come help the Confederacy. They couldn't count on Lincoln being kicked out. The fall of Richmond came the next year, and Lee surrendered at the Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. Appomattox is right over here. With that surrender came Union victory.